Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic, and today I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I cannot be any more grateful. Tomorrow night, if you're local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, come on down for our special Friday Crosstalk meeting, Legends and Lessons, where we talk about those folks that came into our lives that made such a huge impact in our lives and taught us valuable lessons that we still employ today. 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington at 7 o'clock. We'll, of course, be talking about our good friend, Mr. Josh McCormick. We called him Bigfoot. This guy made such a huge impact in our lives, and so we'll be forever grateful. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we'll see you there. One of the biggest miracles that I can easily think of, it's probably one of the first miracles I think of in my recovery journey, is being able to look at that newcomer who comes in the room who is full of hopelessness, full of despair. They've hit their rock bottom, and watching that individual and start even helping that individual navigate their own road through recovery, and watching, as my sponsor so eloquently says, watching that light come back on in their eyes. The miracle of recovery is you can't compare anything to it. It's incredible to watch, and it helps us, for those of us who are sponsoring people. And that's the topic I want to discuss today. Deb even alluded to this last night in her monologue: sponsorship. Nowhere in the Big Book, in the first 164 pages of the Big Book, does Bill use the word sponsorship or sponsor or anything even remotely close. He did, however, write an entire chapter about the concepts of that topic, pages 89 through 103, chapter 7, working with others. From the perspective of the newcomer, and we get asked this question a lot when we go into treatment facilities and other meetings, how do I find a sponsor? What do I look for in a sponsor? Well, to find a sponsor, you need to go to places where sponsors are at. And that would be meetings, right? People who've recovered from that seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. What do you look for in a sponsor? Well, you want to find a sponsor who has something that you want. I'm not talking about a nice house or a nice car. I'm talking about they exemplify and demonstrate characteristics and ideals that you want to live your life by. They're truth tellers. They walk the walk, they talk the talk. The audio is matching the video. There are some do's and don'ts when it comes to sponsorship. A sponsor should not be telling you how you have to recover. A sponsor should only be telling you how they recovered. They should be telling you how they handled a similar situation that you may be going through. At the most fundamental level, they talk and they listen. They communicate. They offer suggestions only and not advice. And I see people, I've talked to people a lot where they say, well, I told my sponsee to go do this and they didn't, so I'm just going to drop them. I'm like, why? Are you controlling their recovery? No, that's not how it works. As a sponsor, you should not be controlling their recovery and making decisions for them. I want a sponsor to be a truth teller, not a friend, but a truth teller. In other words, I want a sponsor to possibly piss me off. I think that's fair. When agreeing to take on a sponsor, you need to have that initial meeting. And I think it's fair. I think it's appropriate to have that initial dialogue and a conversation with the new sponsor that you're going to be taking on. To set expectations. Hey, look, this is my idea of a sponsor. You tell me what your idea. And that's where the sponsor can say, hey, okay, look, I expect this, and I do things this way, and I do things that way. And I expect this structure and this routine. And you can say, as a sponsee, potential sponsee, you can say, hey, look, I don't think that's going to work for me. Can you help me find another sponsor? And for all intents and purposes, they should be willing to help you find another sponsor. You always want to remember this, though. If you get into a situation where you have a sponsor, you can fire that sponsor. If that sponsor is keeping you on step 1 for 6 months and you keep relapsing on step 1, it sounds like your problem with relapsing is the fact that the sponsor won't let you off step 1. Find a new sponsor. If your sponsor is adding more stress to your recovery journey, find a new fucking sponsor. It's that simple. Some of the things that sponsors aren't supposed to do and shouldn't be doing, they should not be your friend. When I was looking for my sponsors, I did not want them to be my friend. I wanted them to tell me the truth. They do not make decisions for you. They do not pay your bills. They do not pay your bills. They don't get involved in your domestic affairs, your love life, if you will. They sure as hell don't go spread your business around town to other people, even other people in the program. And they sure as hell don't chase you down whenever you stop contacting them. They don't go hunting you. That's not what I do. I think it's important that people understand the relationship of a sponsor. The sponsorship starts out as not your friend, but your truth teller, and it grows and it evolves into friendship. Matter of fact, I like to tell the folks that I sponsor, I hope one day you do come back to me and you do tell me, hey, Drew, it's time for me to find another sponsor because I have grown so much with you. I've hit the cap. I haven't lived every experience. I'm sure my sponsees may run into experiences that I haven't experienced. And when that happens, I want them to have the best possible resources. If I can't relate to that experience, let me go find somebody else that can so that it can help them, help my sponsee. See, well, that's where the sponsor has to remember we got to put the egos on the side because it's not about us. It's about helping that person who's trying to navigate their own recovery journey. I hope my sponsees outgrow me and take on new sponsors with even more experience because at the end of the day, it's only going to benefit them and me, allowing me to sit back and watch them grow and continue developing that friendship that takes place over the course of our initial sponsor-sponsee relationship. So that's all the time I've got for today. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I cannot be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.